a good kind of 5-man vacuum wall against Secret because they just played so well around the team fight.
Yeah, they did, and it also had to do with the stages of the game that they're in. In the early game, Mineski wanted to get a lot of ganks off and be aggressive, but in the mid game, when they had no stuns to lock down the Black King Bard Ember Spirit, then they didn't want to fight. So I think that's just a natural progression of the dodging that happened a lot during the game.
Here we go.
See if he can do it this game.
And I mean, in terms of dodging the fight last game, this time with a Tidehunter, you think they'll be looking for more fights in the mid-game Secret?
Secret definitely will be. Mineski maybe as well, but it's much more likely that there'll be 4-man engagements while Anti-Mage is somewhere else. Or there'll be fights somewhere where an Anti-Mage could show up to TP to a tower and then join the engagement. Tidehunter offlane versus an Anti-Mage, though, it's not really a good situation, because while he can deny Anti-Mage's farming, Anti-Mage will drain his mana, and then Tide is basically just like a walking, damage-blocking, mana-less hero. And he is going to have these mangoes, which will help, but there's possibilities that the supports could just leave Anti-Mage in a 1v1 at some point when he has the level advantage over Tide, and not really have any threat there.
Looks like Secret were looking to get the bottom room, but realizing that Mineski are there, not really wanting to go into a fight. Head up towards the top, Pylai die. It's forcing Darkseer away from any chance of sneaking in that rune. And looks like they'll both go the respective ways. And in terms of the lane matchups, as you said, starting off, you can imagine that we're going to see a lot of backup for the Anti-Mage down there, and then the rotations will come out from Mineski's lineup?
Yes, most likely, because again, Anti-Mage can just solo versus Tidehunter so easily. It looks like Winter Wyvern will probably be the zoner. This makes sense because Undyne is a lot better at harassing. Obviously, Arctic Burn is really good, but the cooldown is so long that you're kind of limited every 50 seconds. So we'll just probably see a little bit of trading going on between Undyne and the Night Stalker, and some attempt at reducing the Shadow Fiend's farm.
And we'll indeed see Raging Potato, of course, this time on the Wind Ranger, as opposed to Weeha himself, who was on it in the game 1. And bottom lane, Cuckoo, taking a fair bit of harassment, didn't skill that blink first, went for the mana break, the more aggressive point to take at this stage, so we can trade hits here with the opponents.
And one really good thing that Secret has here is a Dazzle versus an Anti-Mage. It's by far one of the best support counters, at least in the early game. In the late game, it's a little bit more iffy, but in this stage, Shadow Wave does physical damage, and you can basically heal the creeps, which does damage and an AoE around them. So every time Anti-Mage comes up for a last hit, you cast a spell. And that's why Cuckoo lost so much HP there, because Shadow Wave does so much. So he has to be so careful. There it is again. Went for a last hit. The Shadow Wave from Dazzle, and Puppey is just pressuring the crap out of this dual lane.
I mean, and they need to do this as well, because if Cuckoo gets ahead, if he gets a good timing on the Manta Star, you look at Secret's lineup in terms of stuns, and they're pretty much relying on the Ravage at the later portions to catch out the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's basically going to be a repeat of what we had last game. But Dazzle's putting so much pressure here on AM that I think things are going really well for Secret, and it's also guaranteeing that Tidehunter gets some experience.
Indeed, time and time again, Cuckoo just getting incredibly low. Down to the final tango in a salve. Has of course got Jules backing him up there on that Wyvern, and still just level 1 at 2. We might see him get that point in the Cold Embrace so we can allow the Anti-Mage to stick around and farm topped up. And so the top lane matchup, one that we haven't really talked about, but the Darkseer going up against this Queen of Pain. Expect both heroes to do alright here?
Yeah. Pretty easy for Darkseer to get last hits. Eternal Envy on the Queen of Pain likely won't take that much damage from the Ion Shell. So Ryo can do a couple tricky things, as Darkseers always can, like getting extra farm, but with Pylai Die shifting up here, it should be an advantage that goes back to Envy now. Although, have you seen much Envy Quap?
It's definitely not one of the ones that he normally goes for. The fact that they picked up both the Quap and the Air, so it's going to be really interesting to see how it works out for the man. It's quite a different playstyle, of course, from the Ember Spirit that we saw him go for in game 1.
In some ways, yeah, but in other ways, I would say Ember is very much so an early game hero for a carry. He can be really aggressive, he can rotate and get kills, and as long as Envy's able to do that as well, then I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Slight misplay here from Jules on the safe lane. A lot of damage done to Misery, but he's got boots. He's going to be...
Look at this double damage on Jesse Vash. The creep's plucking him up a little bit. Puppey's there with the backup, so indeed it's going to be a little bit too hard for Mineski to go on. And he's going to be A-OK, and yeah, top lane as we saw, Pylai Die now rotating in, just trying to do what he can to harass back the Darkseer.
And despite that really good pressure in the start, Cuckoo here on the Anti-Mage is able to catch up to the last hits. I think the reason it's a bit low is dual lanes in the mid lane, and the off lane versus the safe Quap is a bit of a weird matchup in the sense that Darkseer makes last hitting a little hard, because it's going to be under tower, and the Ion Shells are making things hard to predict. So not too surprised to see all the last hits fairly low this game.
Indeed, in the mid lane matchup at the moment, pretty even between the two of them. 16 for 3 on Weeha, 14 for 5 on Potato. So Obviously, having that presence of both of the supports earlier on in the game has worked out for them both, and they'll keep on par. And Weehaw, of course, he's playing the SF on the dire side. We very much, we see a lot of teams like to pick it up on the Radiant because of the easier potential to back up and clear out the stacks. This time, he's going to rely on his supports more so to do that and create those stacks for him. And we can see already Puppey in the jungle starting to make those up for the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, Puppey's progression here was great. He started in the off lane, he pressured the crap out of the anti-mage, limited his last hit, so he's slightly behind where he would have been before, and you know, maybe if you get lucky you can get a kill as well. And this also forced the Undying to shift over as well, so it kind of accomplished a lot of things here and really did a lot. And now he goes back, stacks to anticipate helping out the Shadow Fiend, and now he can say, okay, I've pressured the map enough, I need to go back and be a little greedy for myself, and to do that, he'll pull.
Jules is stuck on the Winter Wyvern there. Got himself in a bit of a tricky position with the Arctic Burn, so, I mean, Piladai's going to come up, and okay, Jesse Vash gets him out there. The Tango, Piladai, we're coming right round into the two of them here. Perhaps avoid down onto Jules. He's got that movement speed though here during the night time, so he's going to be alright. He may back off though into a potential win range, and he needs to be aware of a shackle shot. Now it looks like Raging Potato's just looking to clear up the camp here, so Piladai's going to be alright.
He didn't just come to harass Jules, he also placed a really good observer ward that's going to spot exactly where the supports are rotating. So now Shadow Fiend knows how aggressive he can be, because they'll see where the Undying is. If Undying's not going mid, then he only has to worry about dying to Wind Ranger, which is pretty unlikely, frankly. It's more opposite to have the opposite happen. So Weehaw's going to be able to get a bit extra last hits and advantage out of this mid lane because of that really good observer ward.
Well, Jesse Vash and Piladai still just keeping the attention of each other. Bottom lane, we're seeing them do their best to harass Misery back. He's certainly not finding the greatest of CS, but he's getting what a tight end needs, and he's getting the levels here at the moment.
Yeah, levels are really what it's about. You hit level 6, you go back to base, and then you organize a gank with somewhere, you get a kill with that, and ultimately you'll go back to farming when your Ravage is down and try to pick up a Blink Dagger. And once you get a Blink thing, can be very good for their team. They don't have a lot of follow-up is the only downside, but if they get a good Ravage, it'll allow Envy to set up a better ulti with the Scream. Things like that will make a big difference.
And we are now in the mid lane, is starting to break ahead of the Wind Ranger, 35 compared to the 22, and that is still with the stack being there that Puppey's created, so he's going to have that as well to create even more of a distance between himself and the Wind Ranger. Top lane Envy, nearly level 7, has got that Sonic Wave, so Raya has to be careful how close he gets to getting low. You've got Puppey as well hanging around, maybe seeing if they can go for something. At the moment, 6 minutes in, still no first blood yet coming into sight for either side.
He actually stood there to block the camp because that prevented Ryer from being able to pull that. So by him standing there, it means a little bit less farm coming to Darkseer. Puppey gets a single pull off, which normally would push the lane. This is fine because Ryer's always pushing the lane in the counterbalance. So Puppey gets a little bit of levels. He slightly denies what Darkseer gets, and overall a very marginal advantage going to Secret with this play.
And Nightstalker just trying to get some levels there in the mid lane. Only level 2 at the moment on Piladai. You've got your level 6 coming out on Cuckoo. Halfway through level 5 on Misery.
That's so leveled. For an offlane hero, this is amazing. If he was here by himself at the start, Undying or Winter Wyvern could have solo zoned.
They want to go straight in with Mana Blade. It doesn't do a lot of damage level 1, but it looks with the Splinter Blast and the Tombstone, they're going to get the first blood, and it will go the way of Cuckoo there. So Mineski finding what they were looking for and finally managing to get a kill on the board there.
It's actually a great dual lane combo to kill Tidehunter. Tidehunter is very strong to physical right clicks, so heroes that have to do a lot of those to kill somebody, it's a little bit weak, but with Undying you have Decay, lowers his strength and does magic damage, Slurp does magic damage, Splinter Blast does magic damage. They actually dealt with him very, very easily. And a nice use of Mana Void as well. Even though it didn't do that much damage, every little bit helps in terms of magic.
Indeed, and that's going to be, he's got his treads done. Piladai on the Nightstalker will be looking for that urn. And Misery, he's more than halfway towards getting those arcanes. And they'll continue to trade the farm. And maybe at this point, we'll see the supports be okay. Envy top lane. Very nice indeed. Managed to move in there with the Sonic Wave and burst down the Darkseer. Looks like Rye did not expect that one, hiding behind the tier 1.
Did you expect that one?
I don't think the Observer did. No, we love you, Pim.
It's somebody else's fault, not ours, right? So pretty good kill there for Envy. He's going to be on a cooldown for a while, but this is a period of time where Queen of Pain usually is a little passive. It would be nice to have his ult if he was worried about Mineski actually roaming and ganking, but they don't really have the best ganking supports. Winter Wyvern and Undying aren't really known for that, but with that said, Jules is actually doing pretty good on levels. He's almost level 6, he just hit 5 here, and when he does hit 6, ganking for him is actually a real possibility that could happen.
Yeah, especially if they manage to do it in tandem with the Darkseers. Ryo's been having a great time at the top. Level 7, he's really recovered from the fact that he was getting harassed back at the start. He's starting to get that CS. Envy looking to wrap around potentially. Same time, mid lane, they're going on Parlay down with the focus fire. They'll get it. Raging Potato picks up that kill. And a second pick off now for Mineski.
That's a really big kill. Not really expecting Wind Rangers in most cases to get CS. I feel like Raging Potato is doing worse in this lane though than he should be. Like obviously Weeha's playing Shadow Fiend, and Shadow Fiend can farm very rapidly, and he got stacks, but he's sitting like half of the CS. Yeah. I really feel like
it's a big difference.
A top tier Wind Ranger player like Sumail or something like that would be able to be semi-competitive in matchups that aren't maybe in his advantage. So I feel like he has been less hit a bit. He did get pressured a little bit as well, but his CS is quite a ways behind Shadow Fiend's, and that could really add up over the course of the game.
And Cuckoo now with the Perseverance. Of course, looking for as best of a timing as he can get on that Battle Fury. And of course, Envy, we're yet to see him leave the lane. Level 8 at the moment. At this point, is it just reliant on the crop to farm up the first item, maybe something like an Orchid, and then look to be a little bit more mobile across the map?
It's definitely going to be an Orchid game, yeah. Just because it helps him kill the Wind Ranger, it helps him really pressure the Anti-Mage. So there's a huge timing window there. If you get your Orchid at a really early time, like before Anti-Mage gets Manto, which is more towards the 20-minute mark. So if you get your Orchid any time before 20 minutes, Anti-Mage is a pretty straightforward gank. Queen of Pain plus one other damage source means a dead Anti-Mage. Now, they don't have the best damage sources this game. It's a Dazzle, a Night Stalker. Shadow Fiend isn't that mobile, so it's hard for him to gank the AM, but the Orchid alone will give them a lot of options towards shutting down this Anti-Mage and delaying his Manta style, which is really where he gets strong at team fighting. So Orchid is definitely going to be the play here.
I want to talk about this, a bit of an unusual one coming out from Weeha. Brown Boots, Aquila, Shadowblade.
Not weird at all, man. He's been doing this all tournament.
Okay.
Grabs the Shadowblade, and this allows him to help gank the Anti-Mage.
I mean, this is the Weeha build then. It's not something that other SFs normally emulate.
I mean, it is a very, very old school build, and going back pubs like 6 years and stuff like that, Shadow Fiends would consistently build Shadowblade, but it's coming back a little in the pro scene just because it turns a Shadow Fiend from a passive sieging hero who would normally grab like Mech, Sanjinyasha, BKB into a hero that can grab Shadowblade, get a kill or two using an ultimate, like a freebie kill, and then buying those tanky items. So it's just a slightly different play style. It's more oriented around ganks, and that's exactly what he's going to try for.
Absolutely, straight up. As soon as it comes out, moves to the bottom lane. He's going to look to try and set up. He's got the level 2 Requiem, looking for the timing.
Oh, the Sentry. They've watched the replays. Yeah. They know Weeha is going to go for those kind of things. And
oh, Shackle onto Envy, landing onto the one tree next to him there. Vacuum back as well, but they don't quite have the control. Envy will be able to blink it out. Misery is there and does have that Ravage if they want to try and turn. Sonic Wave is up as well. If Mineski come too close to this Tidehunter, Misery may just want to look to pop it. They're coming up the lane. Misery's there hiding. He's going to move forward. There's your Ravage. Sonic Wave to follow up as well. Straight into the middle. There's one. They get the Shadow Strike out to Potato. He did get the win run off, but I'm sure they'll chase this down for a second kill. TP reactions are coming through, and that's going to be enough to turn this. They could have forced Misery back. They've got the Arctic Burn slowed down. Envy's still sticking about for this. In fact, he blinks forward. He wants to try and get the kill, but he can't quite close the gap. And now the slow's on him. Envy could be in trouble. He's desperate for the kill. There we go. He does get it, but now is he going to be able to get himself out? He's got a TP. He's got to blink in 2 seconds. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to get away with this. He blinks. He TPs. He got the kill, and he gets himself home. Envy.
That was looking scary, man. That Arctic Burn helped so much. Envy blinked aggressively, and he was just a bit too far away. Wind Ranger was trying to kite, but just didn't have the cooldown on her abilities. Maybe if she didn't waste a Shackle shot on the Tidehunter, she could have killed Envy there, but she did use it. I'm sure that was one of the factors that said Envy felt comfortable going for that dive. So really well played by him getting that kill.
Oh, Winter's Curse, straight up onto Pylite Die, trying to look to set up a killer for Cuckoo, but the 6 charges are there. And the Mana Void, it's not going to do too much. We'll just force Secret back. Fairly low, and there is backup coming from Mineski if they want to try and jump in behind the tower. The creep wave pushing through, and Pylite Die realizes he's got to get himself out. He'll TP back to base. Envy continuing to pressure onto the mid, and thanks to that kill as well, more than halfway towards finishing off that Orchid now on this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, every kill that he gets is so important because it's making it harder for Anti-Mage to get that second item. He's getting close to his Battlefield. Again, another Sentry Ward going to spot out Weeha. Shadowblade not really providing a lot other than allowing him to farm a little faster and move around the map undetected. Also means that his opponents, it's going to cost them money just to gank the Shadow Fiend in addition to their time. So the Shadowblade does have a lot of uses here. And even if he hasn't gotten a kill yet with his ultimate, it still makes a huge threat. The supports can't just idly sit next to a creep wave and farm there. They have to sit together, they have to sit by sentries, they have to spend their very little money on protecting their carries. And it limits him in other ways. Wyvern would love to have an arcane boots right now. He would have them if he didn't have to buy that pair of sentries earlier.
Certainly putting the pressure onto Mineski, but it looks like this is going to be the chance that Mineski are going to take to look for some pressure of their own. They're smoked up, moving towards the bottom. They've got both Weehar and Pylai here on the side of Secret. We'll see if they can get the jump here. Are they going to be able to do this though? Because they're fairly tanky. Pylai caught between three. Jesse Vash is also moving in. Pylai looking to see if he can take the courier. He's going to pop the Night Tab, but the slows are too much. He's trying to get himself out of there, but the vacuum's down and they'll get themselves the Night Stalker. So they take down the NS. He will be out for the count. In top lane, Secret will manage to find the tier 1 trade, and boosted travel now picked up here onto this, and Misery's thinking about it, but Raging Potato with that haste string, a little bit too speedy.
Oh, the shackle on Envy!
Oh, latching beautifully, they've got the damage done with the Witch's Curse, they should do as well. They'll take the kill onto Envy, lovely play there from Raging and Jules, and they'll try and look for more. Chasing down Misery here with this haste string, there's your boosted travel, Weehar coming in, the Ravage, and he's going to look for the raises, he takes down the kill onto Wind Ranger. They'll try and see if they can get some more, and meanwhile in the mid lane, Puppy's caught out by them, but he'll Shallow Grave himself, heal up as well, looking for the raises onto Jules, getting himself into the sidelines. Still in the mid lane, Puppy lived, he got himself out, and now Jesse Vash trying to chase back onto Pylai and it looks like it will just be Envy and Potato going down there. No one else to fall.
Man, that Winter Wyvern ult was so smart. It prevented the Ravage from coming. If the Ravage happened, they were probably not going to get that kill, but it guaranteed the extra stun. The Ravage was delayed, and they scored that kill. Wind Ranger did go a little overly aggressive. I don't know if he saw or heard the TP or not, but that Ravage absolutely wrecked him. And luckily, Weehar made the right play as well. He didn't wait for the Requiem. He just did the easy hit raise because there was no wind run. So, nice plays there by both teams, really.
And Misery now, he's got the mech complete here on the Tidehunter. And Envy just short of the goal for the recipe for his completed Orchid. And you look, of course, the Anti-Mage did finish off that Battle Fury now, so the farm game's going to step up, and we'll see if he's going to be able to close that gap between himself and the SF at the moment, sitting about 1.7k on top of him at the moment.
Really good aggressive wards for taking this tower. Pie's in the position to attack from the back. If they go from the front, Misery's got Ravage. No, he doesn't have Ravage anymore, but he does have a mech at least to protect his allies. That Splinter Blast did so much damage.
It's going to be the mech coming out. They'll commit and they will take the tower. Secret's still moving forward, maybe even thinking about fighting here. Raya did now put a skill point into the wall. He was holding it off until level 10.
A little delayed. You could maybe argue that he should have had one earlier, but I don't think it was going to make a difference in any of the ganks that happened thus far. So just cared more about vacuum, I guess.
And again, a pretty careful game between both sides. With 16 minutes in, it's just 4 for 4, but both are looking for blood now, especially with that Orchid done on the quap. Secret, fairly deep here at the moment. Mineski actually smoked up around the mid lane, hoping that Secret were going to come in for a bit of action. It's not going to happen in especially 25 seconds until that Ravage is back online for Misery. They'll probably want to wait for that before they try and fight again.
Instead, they just
going to go?
Focus on mid. Smoke was used by Secret. They're going to come from the back. Jesse Bash in trouble.
Yeah, drops down the tombstone here. They'll focus out, take it down. There's your curse, they want to Misery. The wall's down as well, it's a lot of illusions. But Weave comes out here from Puppy. Secret's still looking pretty good. They're focusing attention towards the Darkseer. Pop the mech, but he's going to get popped himself. That's the Darkseer down. Puppy Shallow Graving himself. Mech goes through Misery. There's your Mana Void. Secret's going to fall here. And this illusion here of the Shadow Fiend doing a fair bit. Weehar looking for the Requiem, the Sonic Wave as well. He's actually going to hold on to the Requiem because they don't need it. Double kill from the SF as he manages to raise down the Undying as well. And it looks like this one will end as a 3-for-1, and Secret do come out on top. Even though it was a very nice curse and a very nice wall, it just wasn't enough against the sustain, the heal that Puppy could provide.
It was just a perfect positioning from Secret, basically. Mineski really didn't expect to be attacked from the back. They thought maybe from the top, through the river, from the left side, right side river. It came from the back, and Secret's positioning there just gave them really good tactical information. You could maybe criticize the Radiant Wards a bit. It's going to get spotted by Envy.
Did just blink into this. I don't know if Envy's going to have the damage. It's going to be...
very close.
Yeah, he should be fine. 2 points in the shield.
If he had ult, easy kill, but he did use it in that fight, so... A rare no kill on Anti-Mage there when he gets Orchided by Queen of Pain.
And that's got to be a bit, going back to that last team fight, it's got to be a worry from Mineski, because they did use the curse, they used the wall, and they lost to a team fight to Secret, and Secret didn't even use the Ravage, and they didn't even need to use the Requiem on Weehar as well.
Well, actually, Tidehunter is kind of a good Winter's Curse target, really, because he's got damage block. If his allies hit him, he's going to be taking a whole lot less of that, plus his armor is high. That wasn't really a huge amount of damage. I wasn't sure if Shadow Fiend was in there or not. That would be the one hero they have that could do a lot to him, but killing him during that is really going to be about focusing him down with their cores, and they just don't have a lot of burst damage. Normally you'd expect to see like a Queen of Pain on an average team nowadays, but they didn't have any magic bursts like that. It's like they can damage Amp with Undying, but it isn't until Anti-Mage gets really farmed, or Wind Ranger gets a good focus fire on the person that they Winter's Curse, until that person is really me threatened. So it's going to be a while until Winter's Curse really feels strong, other than for the defensive standpoint, like the fact that it stuns.
Highlight moving in top. Shackle's not going to latch to get the silence onto Raging Misery, and Envy are there as well. They'll look to get the kill on the Wind Ranger and they'll get it. He's now down for 50 seconds.
No stun. I thought he was going to get stunned, dude. Did you see that net creep?
I didn't actually.
What if they used a Helm of the Dominator on the net creep and then stunned him with that? That would have been cool. If there was a Helm of the Dominator.
Well, nonetheless, they get the kill. And they're maybe even looking for more. They're starting to push down mid. SMY is now done by Weehaw as well, and he's already looking pretty. He's 2k still ahead of this Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
Anti-Mage furiously trying to farm up and trying to do what he can, but he's still got a fair way to go before the side of Secret are really going to be scared of him.
I feel like Secret's definitely winning the vision and mobility war. They're moving in good positions. Their wards are not getting dewarded, whereas Mineski's wards are getting dewarded. They've got some decent ones here, but they're pretty standard spots. And Secret just seems to be on the better page for that. And it's so important. The last fight was won because Secret had better wards and they had better positioning.
Pilar leading it in towards the mid. You're going to get Weehaw coming in with his Shadow Blade. And Darkseid could be in trouble there if they get the Void. So mid lane Puppy's being chased. Look at the fear. There's your Void. And here's the damage here from this Shadow Fiend. Weehaw now dominating as he picks up yet another kill.
And the early BOTs as well. This is something that not many players do, but Weehaw definitely does. He goes for Shadow Blade, Sanjin Yasha, Boots of Travel. He loses some HP and some attack speed, but the mobility that he gets when he Shadow Blades is amazing. Like, to be able to catch up to a Darkseer like that. And it in some ways also increases your damage output, because if you're chasing after somebody that's fast, you spend less time catching up to them between attacks.
And now Jesse Vash, he's caught just outside the base. Weehaw trying to move on. Look at this damage. The charge is going to stick just enough to keep him alive. So they actually lose the courier there, the die. And did have the bottle on.
Anti-Mage, maybe, was the one that got it. Weehaw should have been able to get that kill, but he canceled his attack a bit earlier, so small mistake there, but he's not going to feel too bad about it.
Oh, Raging Potato. He needs to get himself out. He's got a win run, he's got a TP and hope for the best. He's looking to hide here. Can they get the cancel? Can they get the vision? Yes, they can. They've got the Void out, and that's going to be Potato going down. Another pick off for Secret.
What a huge kill. So that'll be Ags for Wind Ranger, but 1-4-1 on a hero that can do a lot of damage. This is looking bad. Ult on Misery mid.
They've got Kuka moving in as well, but Misery, she's going to pop the grease to try and walk it off. Sonic Wave onto 4. Misery will still go down. Secret, do they have to follow to clean this one up? They've got a cold embrace onto Kuku, keeping him alive. Envy trying to move forward with a Screen Burst. They can't quite get the Anti-Mage. Shadow Strike's going to tick him down. He's going to look for the TP back to base, and he's going to be alright. Gets himself back to the fountain. So Secret, even though the combo was there, it just wasn't enough damage to get themselves a kill.
That was a huge fight for Mineski there. They got him to waste Ravage, so Tidehunter is pretty useless for the next minute, 2 minutes. They did use a couple ultimates themselves, but...
I mean, Sonic Wave down as well. That's gone for 100 seconds.
That was huge, that they were able to save him. The benefit of Winter Wyvern AM, pretty good combo. He's already super magic resistant. Throw some physical immunity on top of that, and he's in a good place. And if you look at his skill build, he's adjusted for this. No stat points, man. He's got 3 levels in Spell Shield, and I think that was a really nice reaction to what he's playing against here. A lot of magic coming out of Secret.
So Mineski's certainly holding at this point. And Weehaw coming into lane. We've got a Wind Ranger on the high ground. Would love to try and find a Shackle if he comes too close. And this sentry there was, of course, getting the vision of Weehaw as he came in.
These wards are just so dominant for Secret. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a Radiant ward. That one's really useful. But this one over here by the Dire, super great ward. Spots all of their movements. They see, okay, Mineski is turtling right now. That's pretty clear. I mean, they can't really gank until they have Winter's Curse. They've made that clear, right? It's their best range disable. They're using it just to stun and set up kills.
On top lane, you've got Pilar die out on his own.
Did Z no, but he has
he's halfway there. He's halfway there.
I think he just saw them with regular vision.
Smoke from Secret. Cuckoo is there, and Cuckoo's actually just blinked forward here. He's in the trees though. I don't think they're aware of it.
The smoke could break as Puppey.
They already put the weave.
Oh, they saw the blink.
Oh, Cuckoo.
Will they get him? All right, smoke breaks. They know he used to be there. They're gonna keep looking for him, I think.
He's going to TP out, and yeah, they can't. They don't really have anything to do.
They don't even have blink daggers yet. They can't find him. So he's gonna be okay there. Any new items on the map? Not that much.
Envy finished his BKB on top of the Orchid. That was his time of choice. And yeah, over on the side of Mineski, yeah, other than the Ags, as we were saying, being done. They did pick up the Greaves just before the Ags on the Wind Ranger for the Darks here. And I think that's the Manta style, obviously done for Anti-Mage.
Oh, he doesn't have Manta. He got found by Quap. But Envy didn't go for it because he's like, oh, he's just going to have Manta, no problem. It's one of those times where you should probably just do it anyways, just to test him. See what happens, but it's so hard to read that situation. If he just starts running after he gets Orchided, it could just be Anti-Mage waiting until something more serious hits him, like a dagger.
Oh,
it's very hard to read
there's
that.
not a sentry top. Okay, there is. Yeah, there is a sentry top. Rhino straight away.
But look at those sentries on the map. There's 5 sentries. That's 5. It's not 500. Yeah, it's 500 gold. Each one is 100 gold. That's 500 gold that one of these supports doesn't have. The Undying to be specific. And this guy's nothing. He's got a Wands and an Arcane Boots. And he's forced to buy all these because he bought a Shadow Blade. We do see Puppey go down. So they get 1 kill at least, but for a 5-position support that has no farm himself, it's not really what they need. The Shadow Blade completely paid off, honestly. It's one of the things it does. Shadow Fiend farms fast. He buys this item that's useful for him. Maybe not the best, but... And then he counters his enemy supports as well.
Cuckoo looking for some aggressive jungling here. Over the other side, Weeheart is around. He's going to try for this side. He's going to go for the TP anyway. Cuckoo nowhere to stop it. And the Anti-Mage is playing this sense, but he's still managing to keep himself relevant, still just behind the Shadow Fiend. Hasn't quite been able to get himself right on top because he's not been able to find himself in a huge fight favoring the side of Mineski. But 25 minutes in, 7 to 10, the fights haven't really been that frequent.
Yeah, I don't really like his net worth right now. It doesn't make Mineski look like they're in a good position. Anti-Mage just should be ahead of everybody else. Like, Weehaw has basically just farmed incredibly fast to be able to keep his net worth up this high. And he's got the right items to deal with SF as well. He's got the Talisman now, so even if he does get stunned and he jumps in and Mantas, the mana drain that's coming out from the illusions won't be as fast as they'd be expecting. Like, Anti-Mage needs at least 1 item right now to be competitive with SF, and he's not there.
And also the fact that the Wind Ranger is going to be going for the BKB next, so there's not going to be any MKB coming out anytime soon for any of the heroes on the side of Mineski. So, as you said, the evasion is going to be absolutely huge there for Weeha. Misery, he's still looking for that Blink Dagger on top of the Grease. 1,200 gold on the way to it. And
a Solar Crest. We literally just mentioned they don't have a way to deal with evasion. And now he's got an extra 25% that he can throw on the Shadow Fiend when Shadow Fiend goes high ground.
It's going to be disgusting.
So, Secret is very likely to go do some pushing here.
Oh,
or they'll wait until they
this mid, but there is a sentry. Jules is going to see it, but he's only going to see his own demise potentially. Will drop the Winter's Curse, but Puppey and Pylai die there. They'll clean up the Wyvern.
I don't think that was worth it. I mean, he could have ultied, TP'd. I guess he also had the Glimmer Cape, but...
Oh, Manta is there for Cuckoo. He's going to blink back, but he blinks into Misery, and Misery does have a Ravage if they want to try and control the aim, and they will. They'll pop the Ravage. They get the damage there with the physical burst from Puppey. It counts as a double kill as he moves across from that Wyvern kill in the mid lane. And very nicely done there by Secret, just positioning them ready for the blink out from the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, the best play there was that Misery waited a while to Ravage. He hit him with the Gush, he attacked him a couple times, and then he Ravaged. He needed to buy time for his team to back up, and he knew that as soon as Anti-Mage blinked, he had 5 seconds until he could get away again. So count to 5, then Ravage, then let your team back you up. Gives you like 7 seconds to kill Anti-Mage.
And with that kill, I imagine Misery's, he's only a few hundred gold now away from the Blink Dagger.
He's in a really good position, and they have a good amount of Arcane Boots too. I think it's just his Greaves, but that should be enough to help out. Now, Mineski still could get a little lucky on things like Mana Void. Like Queen of Pain, for example, has a really big mana pool. If she gets drained, if they initiate on her, for example, drain her mana and throw the Mana Void out, it could potentially wipe Secret. They have some options here. But with Anti-Mage's farm dipping behind even of Queen of Pains right now, it's looking to be a bad place for them. He also went back for a Vlad, an item that lets him lifesteal and passively farm.
Jesse hiding. I'm not going to look for him. Oh, actually cancelling the TP, but maybe it's because they want to try and defend this tier 2.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right here.
They might want to try and come with it. They're sending people down.
Yeah,
They want to try and fight this one. Jesse, he's going to move in. There's your tombstone drop. We are getting blocked a little bit by his own creeps, but he's a little bit too speedy with his boots of travel and his SMY. They just aren't going to be able to chase him.
He would have had to use that a little earlier when Secret was still a little bit far forward. But I'm sure he was scared. Again, he has almost no items. If he would have been out of position, like if Night Stalker would have found him as soon as he comes out, he just would have died if he went a little too early. But it's hard for them to know how many people are actually there.
The ping's coming out now into Roshan. Secret spot that one out. And at this point, going to feel very comfortable going for that. Mineski unlikely to try and contest this one. The Secret do want to try and move in. And Edbling's going to be coming out of Misery. So at the same time, maybe Secret just don't feel any rush in particular to do so. And, I mean, we already see that Envy's working on finishing that Assault Cuirass that he's going to be very close to. Just needs the money there for the final bit of armor. And then we'll have an Assault Cuirass on this corp as well. There we go. Back into the pit. Envy with the DD. And take the Roche. Night Stalker now with the Aghanims here, Pilot Eye. And that's a Butterfly on Weeha. So some massive item pickups coming for the side of Secret. And you just got to ask what's Mineski's answer going to be to this one?
It's looking really bad for them. They're going to go high ground. They're 2 items ahead of a couple important heroes. Wind Ranger has 9,000 net worth. Queen of Pain's like 6 ahead of that. That's like 2 items. It's going to be really tough. He can't even get close to matching up against Weeha. Like a BKB is not going to save Wind Ranger here. I think she should have just gone damage. MKB immediately after the Ags would have been the only way. But now she's got a BKB, which, yeah, it'll make her magic immune and stop the slows and the misses, but, or at least the misses from Crippling Fear, but I don't, and the Ravage, but I don't know if that'll be enough.
Online, Paradise, giving a bit of harassment here to Cuckoo. The rest of the side of Secret still putting on the pressure. We already saw Weeha just head up to the high ground, get the punches in onto the tower. And he's got the sustain of Puppey there on the Dazzle behind him, so he knows that he can do this.
They have every piece. They have an Initiator, they have a core that can tank, they have somebody giving them vision. Secret has, their lineup is perfect here.
Ice
is so good.
Is looking to be that unstoppable force at this point. Ice, look at the racks just melt. There's a focus fight, but he just doesn't care. It's not doing any damage with the Solar Crest laid down onto Weeha. He's evading half of the shots. They'll attempt for a shackle, they'll move Cuckoo in. But he just turns around and hits back at the anti-mage, and they've got to walk themselves back off.
This is the reason Shadow Fiend is so popular right now, and seen so valuable. They're from the side, Jesse Bash.
They'll drop a wall here, Mineski, but they've lost the Undying. We are just playing around the wall. There's going to be the mid lane racks gone. And now they head down to the bottom to look for more. Cuckoo blinking out. And he's going to blink forward. Cuckoo popping the Manta. They'll get the silence on the right one. Envy's lost a lot of mana. He will now pop the BKB. Try and right click back onto Cuckoo. They'll take down the anti-mage. Unstoppable for Weeha as he also takes down the Winter Wyvern. And only 2 left on the map here for Mineski. Secret having a pretty insane game. Game 1, we saw them struggle a bit in the early game against Mineski, but they turned it up for the late game, and in this game, Secret, they've been turned on from the start.
They are just completely outclassing Mineski in this game. They got so much more farm naturally. There's the Ravage initiation.
Straight in, and they'll look to find some kills with this one. Right, will pop the Greaves. There'll be a buyback from Anti-Mage. Nice mana void on 10. The Envy will blink himself out. Now put the Manta, look towards Misery. It's a vacuum, but there's no wall to follow up at this point. And Puppey's there with the Shadow Waves. They'll heal themselves back up, and Weeha just continues to sit there, go for the objectives, hit Zerax, and they'll take a second set down away from the side of Mineski here.
I don't even think they leave. Go back top lane. They continue. I guess they're low on mana. All right, they're playing this ultra safe. Secret wants no chance of going to loser bracket. I don't even know if they need to though. I mean, Mineski is so far behind in farm. They still have the Aegis. They're just going to go back. They're going to farm for about 40 seconds, and then they're going to go back top, and they're going to end the game. I just really think that Secret clearly outclassed Mineski this game. They farmed faster than them in all categories. They completely won the mid lane. Weeha's been out-farming an anti-mage consistently, even though he got a relatively fast timing on the battle fairy. Oh, he's going to go for the kill on Cuckoo.
Okay, Cuckoo taking on the edge here. Will blink out, so won't be able to quite find the damage for the kill. Scaring away the anti-mage. But yeah, as you said, the fact that this Shadow Fiend 8k ahead of this anti-mage.
Yeah, I almost feel a little bad for Mineski in the sense that, don't you think they would have rather been matched up against somebody else in the winner bracket round? I think they're a very good team, and they definitely can match up against some of the other teams, but against Secret, arguably one of the best teams, top 2, top 3 teams in the entire tournament, they're very far behind this game.
And there we go, MP just moving forward. There's an MKB now on Weeha as well. It's just getting scarier and scarier. Mineski are smoked up. They're going to look for an engagement. They've got all the ultimates. It's Misery, the one that's revealing himself at the moment in the lane. At the same time, Envy, Envy's going to find the pickup onto Room Ranger, so they've already taken out Raging Potato. Cuckoo will blink himself out, and they'll enter the fight here. Envy, they'll drop the ball on him, but the BKB's out from the man. There's just Sonic Wave flying through. Does actually clip both Jules and the Darkseer. They'll get off the Winter's Curse. Turning on to Envy. Can they actually kill him in time? No, it's a double kill for Envy. Monster kill streak for Weeha. Make that a triple kill. And Secret playing on a totally different level to that of Mineski in this game, and they take it 33 minutes in, 20-7, Purge.
They made that look pretty straightforward, honestly. Won all their lanes, got the items they needed. Yeah, they died here and there. Mineski had a couple good ganks and stuff like that, but they just consistently stayed ahead in farm, in warding. They always knew where their opponents were, and they never let them get a really good team fight.
Absolutely not. And we saw, though, in